Hey guys, I don't have anywhere to put this phone that's going to make this like super easy, so I'm going to explain what I'm doing as I'm going and I'll show you what I'm doing. Now, this is the one I did yesterday, and I just drew this real quick just to be able to do a little tutorial. I have a washable fabric pen. You basically just put water on it after you're done if there's any pieces that are showing through, and it rinses right off, and then you just leave the canvas out to dry. This is linen. I usually use either a linen or a cotton. I get the linen in just like a big, you know, anywhere from 3 to 6 feet sections, and then just keep cutting sections off to do. Another good thing, Walmart has a lot of little squares of cotton in bundles for like 75 cents a piece, and they're like perfect to make like 1 or 2 of these, so that's a cheap option. Anyway, so I've got this threaded already. Just get regular embroidery floss. I either get it at Hobby Lobby or Joann Fabrics. I always go with DMC company. Others are cheap and you'll notice the difference. So just skip yourself that step and get DMC. Alright, so I'll start first with the stitch for the lettering. Let's see, what do they call it? A split stitch. You just are going to start wherever you want to start. Pull it all the way through. I've got it knotted at the end, so it's going to stay there. So when you've come out the front, you're then going to stick it back in just, you know, a centimeter away. Pull it through to make that first stitch. Just something simple like that, just one stitch. Then when you go back underneath, you're going to come up in the middle of that first stitch. Okay? You're splitting the stitch. And then you're going to go another stitch length away, about another centimeter away. However far you want to do it. Some people make really long stitches, some do shorter. When you're going around a curve in a letter, you're going to make shorter stitches to kind of make that turn. So when you pull it through, you've got, it's really hard to focus, but then you've got that one piece coming through the first stitch. You're just going to keep doing that. When you come up from underneath, sometimes it's going to take some time to find, you know, the middle of that stitch. You just keep coming up through the previous stitch, right through the middle. It's bunching up on me in the back. And this will go fast. I mean, you can easily do a whole word in, you know, 10 minutes. So it'll start making a chain. You're gonna go another stitch length away. Okay. Come up through the middle. And just keep making that chain. Okay. Alright, so now that we're started on that split stitch, we'll come over here to the flowers. These are just rough outlines for the flowers. What you're going to do is make like a wheel spoke. You come up through the middle, and you're going to make, you have to stick with an odd number, okay? Don't be stupid like me and do it the hard way and do even amount of stitches and it turns out horribly. So you're going to make like a star if you want to start with 5. I've gone up to 7 or 9 before, but then it can get kind of crowded. And that's going to start basically your framework for the flower. This is a woven wheel. So you come up through the middle, come out, make your spokes, and then come out through the edge, go right back through the middle where you came up. And feel free to fast forward through this. I can't be fancy and start and stop it and everything and make it all professional for you. So feel free to fast forward through this to the next step. Okay. Okay, so you've got your star. All right. Now you're going to come back up in the middle of your star, kind of like in the V of one of the sections. And now every other spoke you're going to go over under. Just keep going around in a circle doing over under. So this one I'm going to go over, under. You're just going to pull it through, over, under. And you'll see as you start going around that it eventually makes that sort of rose pattern, the leaves. Let me do a few and then I'll show you how it kind of starts to look. And this, you're never going in and out of the fabric anymore. You're just weaving over and under those spokes. Okay, you see how in the middle there we're starting to get that rosette pattern, and you're just going to keep wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it. It'll only take you a few minutes. Get all the way out to the edges. Even when you've reached the edge of the spokes, you're going to notice on the edge of your flower you still notice those threads sticking out. Try to keep weaving under those until your flower is, you know, big enough, fluffy enough that it's covering up those spokes, that you don't really see those spokes anymore. And then at the end, pretend I'm at the edge of the flower and I'm done. You're just going to stick your needle under the edge, poke it through, and you're going to just tie it off in the back. Easiest way for me, instead of looping it under other threads and tying it off. If I'm done and I don't need this for any other sections right now, I just cut off, and then I take these two threads that I had doubled up and I just tie them off. You know, other people will tell you loop them around all the other stitches and knot them off. That's annoying to me. So I had already doubled up my thread, so I just take it and make a few ties. And I'm done, and then I would just cut these off, clean it up a little bit in the back, and then once you've done a complete hoop and you've got nothing else to do and you want to finish off your edges, there's a few different ways to do it, and people will tell you it's just a preference thing. There's so many ways to do it, but you can thread around the outside of this and essentially make a drawstring. Cinch it together so it will all pull down. And then you can take another piece of fabric and cut it to fit. Cut a circle and sew it around the edges, and then it will finish off the back. Another really super easy way to do it is to take hot glue, just a dab, because you don't want it to go through the front, but just a dab on the edge of the hoop. You just take little dots of hot glue and press this down all the way around, and then you can get your cardboard backing or fabric backing, whatever you feel like doing. Just cut it to fit, and then do the same thing. Couple little dots of hot glue, press it to the back, and then it'll be finished front and back. It's just a nice way to, if you're going to give it as a gift or whatever, it's a nice way to cover up these messy threads in the back. A lot of people call it the hoop butt, so just easy way to finish it off. And then that way when it hangs on the wall, you don't get any of these messy edges. Alright, so if you have any questions, please tell me. I will go into more detail on whatever wasn't clear. It takes some practice. I've been doing it only for like a month, if that, and I am so not good at it yet, but that's at least your basic, you know, the lettering, these flowers, and these are just knots. If you go to YouTube and just type in French knots, they're super easy to do. If you can't find one, let me know. Just inbox me, and I'll throw another little video together for you real quick. It does not take long at all. So that's what I did. Okay, thanks.